And how many, and I remember you blew my mind when we first connected at the beginning of the year. I think it was in February or March. And you told me that you did 20 transactions or something like that. And all of them were from Ontario at that time. Yeah, so how many, like overall, like for the year to date, what's it look like for you? How many Ontario buyers versus Quebec buyers?
Well, let's say last year I was at 67% Ontario, and this year I'm at 83%.
Wow. Crazy. So still even 67% last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
I get a lot of referrals from Ontario, but just like right now, the reason why I have more is because a lot of people are getting kicked out of Ontario's market, right?
Yeah. Like, what are the general comments like when people come to you, with saying that they've been kicked out of the market here? They just can't buy what they would like, and they come to Quebec. Like, is it like, are they upset? Do they buy in a different way? Is it more aggressive? Like they just want to find a home, or do they actually take their time to try to work it in the right way? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think it's a case by case. I have both, to be honest with you. I try to make them take their time to a certain point. I don't want to rush them, first showing, first offer, that's it. But I do want them to see what's on the market. I send them like information about areas. Do you have kids? No kids? There's so many variables here. But again, they're initially upset, obviously, because they wanted to live in Ontario. They had their plan in mind. And then all of a sudden price jumps and they can't purchase there. So they kind of have no choice in a certain, unless they lower their expectation, right? But if they want the same thing, they got to come here. But then when I start explaining the difference, they don't seem as upset as they were in the beginning, because there is a lot of differences between Ontario and Quebec, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was my next question. What can you explain some of the main differences so that people can understand that a bit?
I think what people don't know, or at least the majority of my clients, they're kind of surprised. There's two things, actually. In Ontario, you pay land transfer tax at the end when you sell. Well, here in Quebec, it's a welcome tax when you purchase. So it's exactly the opposite way around.
Sounds so nice.
Welcome tax. Welcome.
Come join us in home ownership.
and what's what would be do you know the difference in cost of the welcome tax versus the land transfer tax? Or is it similar?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. The way it's calculated, it's based on a different amount, right? Like, for instance, I don't have the exact numbers. Let's just say, for the sake of the example here, 0 to 50K, it's 0.5% of the price. And then 50 to 250 is 1%. And then 250 above, it's 1.5. We do have exception for 500K and more, but it's around those lines.
Okay. So it's pretty similar, right, boys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what do you, maybe, some of the other differences aside from the land transfer welcome tax, what would you say, big differences between, bang for the buck of what you're getting in Gatineau or Aylmer or surrounding areas in comparison to an Ontario? Because really a lot of them, Aylmer, you're right across the bridge from Westboro, for instance. Westboro, your average price point is probably $1 million, Greg. Million, 1, 2.
Yeah.
And you're 5 minutes across the bridge at Aylmer, you're 5 minutes from that. Like what would your average detached and semi-detached be, or town in those areas?
You mean in terms of price, of like other different?
Yeah, like average price point, would you say, for a detached, across the bridge in Aylmer or in Gatineau, for, a detached, a town? Like what, because I'm saying in Westboro, right across the bridge, you're dealing with an average price point of 1.2 million, probably $1 million, 1.2. You're 5 minutes away across the bridge. What would the average price point be?
Yeah, in Aylmer.
In Aylmer.
In Aylmer, I'll stick to the houses, because we do have like condos and plex, which is But the average price, like let's say the 12 last month, is around 259K.
Wow,
9,000. But let's face it, there's from the lowest to the highest, right? Let's say if you want something what the average person would like, like turnkey, you move ready. If it's not too old, it's kind of renovated, up to date. You're looking at between 450, 500. If you're looking to do some more renovations and whatnot, definitely go lower.
That's crazy. Like 500,000 seems like nothing right now.
But again, 2 years ago, those same house, 275, never above 300.
For sure. It's relative for sure. But it just seems, that's crazy, man.
And with all the increase in traffic of people from Ontario buying in Quebec, what's we've been seeing crazy value, price points jumping, in some areas, 30%, 20%. I think the average across Ottawa was probably in the 17, 20% range. Have they been jumping that quickly in Gatineau as well?
It's the same here. Here. Actually, Gatineau's market kind of follows Ottawa's market in some ways. So we do have let's say last trimester, 30-something%.
Right.
Yeah, something 36%. So no, it's very good. Well, I mean, it depends where. Like in Elmer specifically, 24%, very close from 30.
Right.
So they follow in terms of percentage. They follow Ottawa a lot. It's just the prices always stick down, right?